Hello, it's Dr. Michael Gaeta. I'd like to talk about the politics of vaccine mandates. And I want to be really clear that I have no affiliation with any political party. I think oftentimes they're two sides of the same coin. But one area which has become very concerning is this national effort to force vaccinate the population, to institute this forced vaccination campaign and agenda. And this means delivering medical intervention into a person's body against their will, based on lies of vaccine-induced herd immunity, arbitrary vaccination compliance of 95%, which is completely bogus, and this whole idea of protecting the herd and those who cannot receive vaccinations, like young babies who can't receive, certain vaccinations until a certain age. So here's the deal. 99% of all of these bills, these very un-American kind of medical fascism bills, are emerging out of the Democratic Party. And again, I'm not a Republican, but it's just fact that almost every vaccine mandate, elimination of exemptions, tightening of exemptions, making it more difficult to get exemptions, propagandizing parents who choose exemptions, these bills almost always are primarily sponsored and driven by Democrats. And what I've learned from Democratic friends, and I live in Boulder, Colorado, is like a Democratic liberal stronghold, is that the attitude in this situation is that the government knows better than you do how you should live your life and the decisions you should make for yourself and your family. The government knows better than you do. And since it knows better than you do, should be in control of your life and in control of the decisions you make for yourself and your family. So it's this attitude of government control and government dependence. We'll take care of you. You're not responsible for yourself. The government will sort you out. This is what I've been hearing from former Democrats who are like super hardcore Democrats for life, and then have really felt betrayed by their party, which is the consistent, 99% of the time driving these mandate bills. And again, I'm not a Republican. I have no party affiliation. I don't have a dog in this race as a political issue, but as a human rights issue, this is very significant. And so my message today is to acknowledge that, and that the reason most of these bills fail is because of the efforts of the Republicans who are at a state level in the state legislatures, the House and the Senate in the states, defeat these bills, along with concerned, educated, passionate, engaged, activist parents and other individuals who demand the preservation and even expansion, like in Texas, of vaccine choice. And so when it comes to vaccine choice, healthcare freedom of choice, informed consent, personal bodily sovereignty, our only defense usually, and there are exceptions, there are Democrats who are pro-choice, but usually our best defense are the Republican legislators. And so my simple message today is, when it comes to election time, if you care about vaccine choice, and you may disagree with everything else about the Republican Party, and I'm sure those are valid concerns that you may have, and depending on the issue, that if you care about vaccine choice, we basically have to elect Republican representatives if you care about vaccine choice, or do a whole lot of education to Democrats on the value of informed consent and personal and bodily sovereignty, because many of those Democrats can be or have become or are already pro-choice. So, for example, we have in here in Colorado, we have a Democratic governor, Jared Polis, who I have a positive regard for, but he's very much pro-choice on vaccines, even though he believes in them and has vaccinated his children and their, his family. That he is pro-choice. So that's a good thing, unusual for a Democrat. And we have a senator, a Republican senator, who is co-sponsoring a nefarious bill that's being debated today in the Senate. And even though he's a Republican, he's a Republican in name only, that he is actually, in favor of vaccine mandates and tightening exemptions, reducing exemptions. So, if you care about choice, you better start electing more and more Republicans wherever you are. And that, that may not be great for you on certain other issues that you care about. That may, fly in the face of, your values in other areas. And I respect that. But on this issue of choice, it's, the Democratic Party is the greatest threat to healthcare freedom. So that's what I have to say about it. Again, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm just saying on this issue, it's like a very clear party line issue, and that we've got to get all the Democrats out of office at a state level and at a federal level in order to preserve vaccine choice, unless they can be educated and come around to pro-freedom, pro-choice perspectives, which I think is great, and that's something we should work for too. So to get active, go to nvicadvocacy.org, and they'll tell you what's going on in your state, what the bills are, who the sponsors are, who to contact, what committees they are, talking points, contact information. They make it super easy to be an activist, a pro-choice, pro-informed consent, vaccine choice advocate. So go to nvicadvocacy.org and take my free course called Vaccines and Choice at michaelgaeta.com. If you're a health professional, what I do for a living is train other natural health professionals on the clinical side and business side of practice to improve their patient care and the success of their practice using natural functional medicine. So get active. This is a lot of stuff going down right now in terms of vaccine choice being attacked. And by the way, almost every Democratic presidential candidate, when asked, favors the elimination of all vaccine exemptions except rare medical exemptions, and these Democratic candidates, almost all of them that I have seen, or just about all of them that have been asked this question, actually favor forced vaccination of the entire population, vaccine mandates. So that's like a major concern and something we need to think about when we go to the ballot box. So that's it. Get active, get in the game, and let's take a stand for choice.